Hello folks, and welcome to day 20 of November 2020, the daily 2-hour challenge art streams that I've been doing. Now we're on day 20, which means we're already 2/3 of the way through this challenge, and there's been ups, there's been downs, but I'm enjoying it still. There's still part of me that wants to carry on and get this done. I had a couple of days off streaming, but I still got the work done. I just didn't fancy streaming it because I thought I want to take the pressure off a little bit, you know? Doing a lot of things I haven't done in a while or haven't done before, and it's easy to just do that when you're not feeling like you're being watched, you know? But you might be thinking, but Chris, why are you streaming it then? Well, because I figured it'd be fun to do. It's a nice little thing to do. It's nice to have a break. It's nice to stream for a bit. I miss streaming and I like making art, so why not mix the both? So I'll show you guys what I've been up to. Day 18 was growth on November, so that's what I made here. I got, based on this image here, you can see in the reference, day 18, so I did like the first 4 basically. That was a fun one to do. It's a little bit of a challenge, but a nice fun challenge. I got it finished just in time. I think it was like an hour 59 pretty much, and it was done, so I was happy with that. And then day 19 was fluid, which I only ever hear the word fluid used after the word bodily. So I was thinking originally like maybe doing like blood or something like that, you know, go into something weird. But then I thought, no, I don't want to do that. So fluid, I thought, I googled fluid, just the word fluid, to see what would come up. And amongst all the stuff in the results that was not exactly what I was after, I saw this image basically. I'll show you now. See, I saw this image and I thought, I like that. It's like water droplets on a car surface kind of thing. And I liked it, so I thought I'd do that. And it'd be a challenge, but which it was, because there's no refraction in this picture. There's nothing fancy going on. I had to fake sort of depth in a flat surface, if that makes sense, because you can't have things behind things in substance design. It doesn't work that way. So I had to try and sort of fake refraction behind stuff. So for example, like there's a little grain in this material, and inside the droplets I basically magnified it like a refraction would do, and that put some shadows in, that way it would cast on itself, and some highlights that it would hold. And so it was a fun one to do, and that was actually a quick one as well. It was like an hour and a half, which is really handy because yesterday was PlayStation 5 day, so I was keen to get back downstairs anyway. And I didn't mind the fact that it was a quick one. Now today's result, what's the word? I've still got yesterday's up here. Let me delete this. Today's prompt, that's the word I'm looking for. Today's prompt is biome, which a biome is basically, I forget the actual definition of it, but basically it's a set of things that multiple things share to live. So like, for example, a tropical biome, you got like palm trees, you got sandy beaches, you got, you know, starfish and stuff like that. They all go together in that kind of biome. Whereas if you had like an Antarctic biome, you'd have glaciers, you'd have, you know, ice water, you have penguins, you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. So it's things that go together in sets of that kind of style. I think that's, I can't remember the actual definition. You know what, let's look up the definition. Rather than waffling nonsense, let's just look up the definition. Because I meant to do that before the stream, I just forgot, I'm not going to lie. Okay, sorry. I was going to say Chrome didn't save my things then. Let me just quickly go to this, and then we're going to go to biome definition. Or definition if you mean, type it weirdly. So a large naturally occurring community of flora and fauna occupying a major habitat, e.g. forest or tundra. So yeah, flowers, animals sharing the same kind of thing. So I guess everything is a biome in a way, but it's more specific than that. So I'm thinking of going for like a tropical biome type thing. Now, if I don't think I can pull off today's one, I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a challenge. It's something I've never tried before, and I've just got the idea in my head. I want to attempt it and see what happens. Now, I'm thinking of doing maybe something on the lines of this kind of thing, with, you know, we've got the underwater, the water, and then the stuff on top with the sky. We do not have time for that, but we're going to try and do something similar, something in a similar ilk. But you've got to think height information wise, you can't have height information on any of this. This is all going to be done in the albedo and the base color, because this will be flat because it's the water against the lens, and then we'd have it sloping off. So let's just see what happens. I don't know if we can do it or not, but we're going to give it a try. So yeah, I quite like the way, where was it? Which one was I just looking at? Yeah, I quite like the way this one works. Or this one. But I like the fact this one has a starfish in it. So let's just see how we get on. I might do something like this for the first two parts of this, and then we'll try and do like some rocky background to it like this. But I don't know. Let's see how we get on, shall we? So first things first, folks, we need to reset our clock. Skaboom! 2 hours. Alright, let's get it done. Let's get it on. So first things first, I deleted all the colours by accident, so I'm just going to quickly reconnect base values to this, just so that we've got something we can see. Put you in there, put you in there. My graph should look a little cleaner today as well. I've started using the default Substance Designer blank graph. Normally I have my own little nodes in there, but I don't use them that much, to be honest, so yeah, I'm not going to bother with that right now. HB IO. Wait, let me just snap all these. It's bugging me that they're not on the grid. Why are they not on the grid? Dude, you're the default. Wait, you should be there. Why are you there? Okay, we're almost done, folks. And the height, we'll plug that in a moment. We shall plug that in momentarily. So first things first, we need to figure out how we're going to get these shapes in the size they're going to be. Now I'm thinking we should probably do a sphere today. Let's give it a try. Sphere 2 tiles. I want to just try something. Now you're going to have to bear with me today, folks. I'm doing a lot of experimentation. Like I said, I am not expecting this to go well at all. Worst case scenario, we can figure something else out. But for now, we're going to try this. So let's just try and get our base shapes in place for now. First things first, and we need to define a height as well. So let's get a gradient. On this, we'll go from white to black. So we want to. What the hell did I just do? Yeah, we want to rotate this, and then this is going to help us define where the black point is, where the white point is, and how extreme we want it to push. View uploads in 3D. Okay, so at the moment there'll be no change in height for this because we haven't actually changed it to tessellation. We do want to tessellate today. I want it to be quite extreme. So I'm going to try it at 20 as a starting point. So 20 is probably too extreme. Tessellation factor is 7. This is how we're going to test it. So look at this, and then I'm in occlusion. Okie dokie. Don't worry, I know it looks weird right now, but we're going to figure this out. Metallic, uniform, and normal. I'm going to set normal to like 20. Okay, so let's get a curve node in here. And we want to control, this is black, this is white, so this is basically going to be the upside down curve, what we're trying to achieve, I think. So we want to get a flat bottom on this. Oh, no giggling. We're going to flatten this on both sides, which is that one. Okay, completely flat bottom there. So if we connect that now. Okay, we're getting in the right direction. So that would be the water, right? Because it's up against the lens. I'm going to have the beach. That would be softer. So that would be more of a gentle curve, like so. Let me just change the left one to a curve. There we go. Okay, now I actually want that to start from the water itself, so how would I go about doing that? Okay, so this would be the point where the top of the water is here. This would be the beach, okay? So we want it to be close, but quite far away. And then we'd have our sort of tree-y section, which would be a little bit further back. And then we'd have our sky, which would be way back. So something like that. This is not going to be perfect. I'm just trying to visualize the kind of idea I've got in my head, if that makes any kind of sense. I think it does, but then again, I think a lot of things make sense that just don't. So let's see what happens, shall we, folks? Let's make the water distance shorter. Okay, a bit more extreme. We're getting somewhere, folks. We are getting somewhere. Okay, something like that. And this part would be the like the trees, and then we'll have the sky back here. I think that makes sense to me. I'm not sure how much sense it makes, but I think it makes sense. Oh, forgot to send my buzzy buzz off, didn't I? Oh, he's a smart lad. Alright, there we go. There's that off. I'm just going to quickly put my watch to do not disturb. No disturbing. Don't disturb me. I'm busy. Okay, so something like that. The little pinchy pole at the top. That's just probably because of the tessellation factor that we've got on it. We can fix that in the new one, but I don't think we can fix it here. No, in the new one there's I think there's a tessellation offset or something like that. But I've got the new one, so there you go. Right, so how are we doing this, folks? Okay, so if we think of this as side on, we've got the water here, then there's the beachy part, and then there's the little lip for that, and then there's that. So okay, let's just delete them a second. Okay. Ow. Right, so let's try and figure this part out, shall we? I'll tell you what, shall we do it in solid sheets first? Let's get a gradient node, a gradient map node. We're going to quickly try and achieve the same result that we just did. But this time we're going to pinch the parts where they need pinching. So let's make this black, just so you can see what's going on. Okay, make it white now. Then make this mid-grey. Okay, so jet white. So that's all the sea now at the bottom. And then what the beachy bit. They should all be linear and type-related as well. So and then there's that. Whoa, that got interesting, didn't it? Okay, that version isn't working too well, but what we can do then, so that was just to visualize the idea anyway. Like I said before, we're experimenting today. We've got an hour 50 left. I spent 10 minutes experimenting already. Jesus. But that's okay, it's part of the fun of experimenting. It's just seeing what you come up with. And hey, if we end up with this, the end of the stream with bugger all to show, we at least know we tried, okay? We can't have results every single day. But I do want some results, that would be very nice indeed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a blend together. I'm going to manually blend 3 shapes of 3 colours together that I want to be in a certain place, and then we can use that to establish what we're doing with it. That makes sense. So black. How many pieces do we want basically? We want water, underwater, water, beach, sky. So really we want 4 distinct layers, don't we? So let's get a black, get white, so 4, so yeah, we can do in quarter increments, so 0.25. That might work. So we're going to have to lay them up from back to front for this to work. Tell us not to tile. I think we can just use this as a shape. I haven't tried this before, but I'm pretty sure you can just use that as a shape. Maybe not. Okay, I could have sworn you could do that, but alright, whatever, that's fine. Really? Nothing? Okay. No, yeah, you can. Okay. I said the wrong note, no tiling. Okay. So black's the background. This first mid-grey is the foreground, which will be the beach tree section. We'll just do something like that just to get it in place. Then we're going to blend here. And then we'll get another uniform colour set to 0.5, because this is our beach part, which is between the water. Oh wait, this is the water. Sorry, this is the top of the water surface, as the cool kids call it. Okay, so the water surface would go, sets to no tiling once again. There we go. The matte colour. Huh, I could just set the matte colour on this. No? Okay, I can't. Never mind. But anyway, set the alpha to 0 on this. Does that help? No, it does not. Okay. See, experimenting, folks. Just experimenting. So yeah, the reason this wasn't working before is because it wasn't the right colour. Let's just do this way. Let's just keep it easy. 0.25. Wait, can I set the matte to just be alpha? No, it doesn't work. Alright, whatever. Like I said, experimenting. So this is going to be 0.5, and then we're going to move on. So this needs to be there. No tiling. Oh, okay. Already gone great. Alright, we're going to stick it old school then. Stop that. We're going to crop each one of them out. So the sky's going to go to about, let's say there. And then the beach is going to be where it is. And then the water level is going to be to about there. And then we want, for uniform colour, we're going to set this to white. Wait, we need 4, don't we? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4, sorry. Going to set this to white. Because the water is going to be right against the glass of the lens, so it's got to be sheer. We might be able to cut into it a little bit, but it's going to be pretty much just flat. So white would be flat. So for this, we're going to trim off the top. All the way down to about there. Right, we don't need to be super specific with this. I'd much rather this be masked And I don't know why I wasn't doing that to start with. That was the intention. For some reason, the brain was like, no, do it this way, it's better. There we go again, folks. Alright. Experiment. I'm rusty, okay? It's been 2 days. Shape. Right, so we are going to give each one a mask because that way we can cut into the mask and adjust the actual levels from there. Square's fine. We don't want it tiling, so I'm going to tell it to no tile. I mean, it can tile horizontally, so okay, just horizontal tile. So that way if I go over the top it doesn't come out the bottom, so that it doesn't dig into the water. Right, so that's where the sky is. Let's duplicate this. That's where the water level is. I want the water level to be fairly shallow because it's going to cut backwards. And then we're going to get our actual waterfront, like the in the water part. I know what I mean. Okay, so let's get this to match up with the bottom of that. Okie dokie. So this is going to be the full bottom water bit, which I want to be full of white like that. Okay, so finally got a representation I'm after of water, water surface, beach, stuff on the beach, sky. That makes sense? I hope it's making sense to people. Got a bit less sky. So we can cut into these masks and produce stuff that's behind it. Hopefully this will give us something cool here. Just solid results. So the sky's going to be up here. Trees, beach, water. So out of interest, if we just blur between these. It's pretty funky, isn't it? Anyway, I don't know why I did that. So we can use this as we can use this mask as a way of separating out what we want from where. So we can use a histogram select and just choose. If we set the range to just be something low, we can just choose which one of these we're going to use. Set the contrast to full, and it'll basically snap between them 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that way we can just go. This uses the position of the grayscale value that we're using. So black is the bottom one. See, so it's 0 for black. And then it's 0.25 for the next one, so it just catches that there because the range isn't quite full. And then we've got 0.5 for the next one. And then 1 for the one after that. See, so it just grabs which one we want, and that's going to be handy for later, for separating stuff out. But for now, let's just see how we get on with this. So I'm just curious. I'm curious to see what we can actually do with this. So, water up against the lens, that's already established. How does this look on a cube, do you reckon? Probably bad. I imagine it cuts up the cube. Yeah, pretty bad. How does it look on a plane? It should look pretty fine on a plane. Yeah. We always get this extra lip on it, which is what was causing that spike on the ball before. I'm never sure what that is exactly, because it's like it overlaps by 1 pixel, which I understand in parallax, but with a height map it shouldn't really do that, so I'm not entirely certain. But basically, let's try and establish what we're doing next for this. So, we can have a specific height range for these things to make sure we don't go out of it. So everything that needs to be, everything that's going to be sky is basically going to be black. Everything that's going to be on the beach or the beach is going to be between 0.25 and 0.5, well 0.49. Everything that's going to be on water surface level is going to go from 0.5 to 0.99, and then the water is just flat 1. So does that make sense? I hope. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll show you what I mean as we go through. But for now, let's just try and start establishing something. So like I said, I'm not really sure what we're doing with this. I'm just going to try and do stuff. So step one, I guess, would be, let's try and get the water in, the water surface. I know it's jumping about a bit, but let's just try that. Move these over here. Okay, so the water surface is this part, right? This is the 0.5 part. So everything between 0.5 and 1 is the water surface. Okay. So what we can do with this is we can create, let's make a really simple example right now of just crystal. If we transform this to rotate it, actually it's not crystal, what is it? It's creased. Yeah, creased, sorry, my bad. Choose creased and rotate it. Okay, now we're going to change the warp intensity to be less extreme. We're just using this as a test for now, just for the water level. Now this is going to be used here. But what we want to do is we want to make sure it's within the levels I was saying about, within the boundaries I was talking about. So I think this should work kind of like a clamp, where if I tell this, the brightest value of this to only ever be at most 0.49. Let's change the float. Then that'll be the brightest it ever gets at that point, theoretically. Let's see. Yeah, so see this value here? If I go to the lightest parts, it's not going over 0.49. 0.43, so the closest we get. So that's good, that kind of works. And the lowest value, we don't want to go below 0.25, yeah. So we'll set the lowest point of this to 0.26. I really hope I'm making sense. Hopefully it all makes sense in the end. So this now only fits within that range we specified. So if instead of using this flat color, I now used this, set to grayscale. There we go, we've got water. Now the problem is we need it to be on a slope. So it's just flat right now because it's a flat image. That makes sense, it's not got a gradient in there. So if we then go and get an actual gradient and give it the same kind of map so it limits it, then that should be able, we should be able to use that as like a slope to work on top of. I really hope I'm making sense to people. Okay, gradient 1. So duplicate this. So this way it's got exactly the same limitations as this one. So I've plugged that into there. That should give us a slope. Oh yeah, I need to transform it, don't I? Aegis. Let's go back to the sphere. Right, so we're currently inverted for some reason. But this one's gone from white, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, okay, I got it wrong. Okay, 0.5 to 1. See, I'm even confusing myself with this one. So the lowest value should be 0.5. Oh, wait, yeah. Okay. 0.25. 0, 0.25. 0.25 to 5. 5 to 1. So 1's just flat, so we can go 0.25 to 1. Skip the middleman. Yeah, because 0 is just completely flat. We don't need a range for that either. Okay. Right, I think I'm here. I think I'm here. You know, it's way too late in the day to be thinking like this level of thinking. 0.26 to 1. There we go. Okay, that's better. Took a while, but we got there, folks. We got there. Let's just change this one to 1 as well. Right, so yeah, we've got our little slope, which would be the water's surface, which is cool. That's what we want. I'd like to shorten it a bit. Let me just... Can I just this? I wonder, let me just try something. Actually, no, let's not do that. Okay, so we've got a water slope, right? So let's try and blend these together. And if we make sure that we only min darken or subtract, that should make sure we don't go outside of the boundaries we've set. Whoa, that's funky, isn't it? So max lighting, it'll go up to white. If we go to overlay instead, actually, or screen, is it? Overlay, okay. Okay, we're getting somewhere with that. That kind of thing looks cool. Now again, we're not getting specifics in right now. We're just fleshing stuff out. We'll go in and refine stuff in a bit, but for now, we're experimenting. Gonna blur that out quite a bit. Just give more of a watery, rippley look. See, multiply is great for it, but it kind of kills the values at the ends. So if we use overlay instead, oh, opacity's down as well. Yeah, whereas overlay just, it works really well for what we're after. So let's try something like that for now. And the actual mask for the water itself, we're going to give some variance to, just a little bit of a warp. Because it's water, isn't it? It's not perfect. So let's get a warp going. Let's get a purling noise going. Quite a large one. Something like that works pretty well already. I've got such a dry throat tonight. This room is quite dusty. I need to dust it more often. Dust. Filthy. There we go. There's that. So that gives us a little bit of a wibbly wobbly going on. We just extend the mask up a bit. That'll help us cover what's behind it a bit more. We also want to kind of blur the edge of the mask a bit as well, so it works with what's behind it better. There you go. We still want it to be kind of sharp, but not enough to give a lip, so something like that would work. Let's go quickly lower the highest points on this. Oops. Actually, you know, we're not going to mess with the gradient itself. Let's use a levels to mess with that. Actually, shall I do the levels here? That's dissolve. Why is that dissolve? I said levels. Right, so if we use this and then control the white level of it, push it down. That just reduces the strength of it overall, which is kind of cool. Okay, so flat water, water, then beachy rocky bit, and then sky. We're going to struggle with beachy rocky bit. I'm just not certain what to do with it. We could try it. We could attempt a couple of trees or something, but I don't know how well they're going to go. But hey, we don't know till we try, do we? So let's give it a pig and go. Let's give it a pig and go. An hour and a half left. This is all experimental, remember. This is not stuff... So this is not stuff I've done before. Purely experimental. So I'm excited to see what happens with this. Wait, we don't need the histogram select anymore. That's a good point. I think the histogram select would have just been good for debugging stuff, but we debugged, so now we're here. I'll keep the value there for now, just so I remember what it was. Oh god, it's going to be so interesting tonight. Okay, so we've got trees. Let's just try and make a palm tree, shall we? Something simple. Not simple at all. What am I on about? Something... Maybe we can get away with some rocks. Let's try and do some rocks for now. Okay, so this part is the beachy, rocky part. This is the background, so let's leave that over there. In fact, let's give this its own frame. Let's start adding frames to stuff. Okay. Sky height. This is going to be beach height. Because we're going to have to differentiate between this and the albedo, which is the base color, the color information. Because things like, for example, under the water are not going to have any height whatsoever to them. We're just going to have to fake it in the texture. Okay. It's going to be water front height. And then this stuff is water top height. So it's important sometimes to try and stay organized with stuff like this when you get kind of weirdly specific, confusing textures like this one's going to be. It just makes sense. It helps to... It just helps to straighten things out in your head a little bit as you go along. And it's also a visual thing, you know, you can just say everything within here is affecting this part. This is going to take quite a bit of work, so let's just get it ready. The sky shouldn't really need touching because we're going to fake it again with the albedo. Unless we add some clouds or something to it. But yeah, so let's just get this here. Let's get our mask. This mask is controlling where the sky is, so we're not going to touch that, if I'm right. What I should do is invert these, and then yeah, invert this. So that way now this mask now controls where the beach part goes to, which is much more useful for us, much more useful indeed. It'd be better if I actually took this and then changed it rather than just inverting it here, which I'm actually going to do. Let's see, transform. Horizontal only. Let's just do this to match the other one. Let's see, where was it? A little bit higher. Just a smidge lower. Okay, something like that, that'll do. So, can delete these. Alright, so now this mask does control the part that we're talking about. Just makes it a little bit easier, a little bit clearer, because it's within this beach height section, it makes sense to make it that. So let's get a shape. We're going to do a really quick and dirty rock type asset. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to represent what we want it to represent. So let's make it a paraboloid. Let's transform it a bit. Oops. Go with it tiling. Okay, we want to... Actually, yeah, let's do this. Gotta get this again, transform it there, put it here, and set it to max lighting. I'm going to blend two of these together that are going to sort of form a bigger shape. Because we want more stuff that we can adapt and play with. I'm going to stretch this out and shrink it down as a whole. And max lighting's cool because it kind of intersects the shape the way we want to here. See, it's kind of going in and out of the actual shape itself. That's a pretty fun way of doing stuff. We could subtract something from this shape as well, just to do something else with it, but instead of doing that, we're going to use a slope blur grayscale. Plug that result in there. We can use a... I'm going to go with the directional noise right now. I wanted 4. Okay, if we get this and plug it in, and then we're going to set this through a blur HQ grayscale, because without blur, most things are way too strong on slope blur. Set it to min so it cuts away. If you set the samples really low, it gets really jagged results, which is good for rock and stuff. Or you can set it high and it'd be like nicer quality results. So let's just do this. Actually, let's kind of go to town on this for a sec. Let's just... I'm going to transform this shape so overall it's more squashed. And we'll reduce the intensity on this. Increase the tiling on this. Okay, now if we... Let's just keep moving everything over. All the way over there. Move this over here. Oops. I always somehow accidentally click the nodes. They're so tiny. When I want to click them, I miss them. But when I don't want to click them, oh, they're there. Right, so we're going to use... we're going to basically use the same shape on top of itself with the transform. And we're going to set it to subtract. Or min darken, actually. Let's see. I've not done this in ages. It used to be a really quick way, just making some rocks, basically. See the way if we rotate the shape, it kind of cuts out the other one. It's just a nice way of doing it. So you can get some really interesting results with this. So something like that works pretty well. It kind of like chisels it out of itself, which I know it looks really round and like blobby here, but then you do that and then it gets kind of more refined and chipped. And then you can do it again. This is good for like when you're using flood film nodes. You can use multiple ones with different angles and then do that, which was my original plan, and I didn't do it that way, but it's alright. This is working out okay, I think. Let's try feeding this into min darken. That's a terrible idea. Why would I even think of doing that? Who knows? Okay, plug this into here, plug this into here. Help fired it on. Okay, so it's down to a slither. It's kind of cool, like yin and yang stone. But we can have these as like variants, so you know, different types of rocks that we've got knocking about. So it's kind of like chipped off the side of it. It's just an interesting little technique to use. It's not a perfect science by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just an interesting thing to me. So there's two varieties there that we've got. We can use them and we can play with that. Let's just quickly see what we can get with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our base. We're going to blend these together. I'm going to give them their own their own transforms to work with. So we can place them individually. So they're going to get shrunk. There's more ideal ways of doing it than this, by the way. This is obviously just a way of doing it right now that's straight off the top of my head. Should work. No, not much thinking involved, because we've only got an hour 19. This is not happening in an hour 19. So we've got to just do what we can in the time we've got. Set this to max lighting. That way if they intersect, it doesn't look weird, it just looks cool. Because they're rocks. So yeah, we can do something. If you imagine they're scattered along, we can do something like that. So let's just put these where they belong in here. Oh, replace the sky by accident. Ow. Okay, now we'll do what we did before with the gradient thing. We'll just make sure it's set to the right scale for this. So we want to go from 0.5 to 0.25. Sorry, from 0 to 0.25. So it's already at 0. So this one's a 0.25. See, so now that should be within the right kind of boundaries there. So we're already getting... Hopefully the idea is starting to come together for you guys, that you can see what I'm trying to achieve here. Oh, I want to sneeze. Bless me. Excuse me, whatever. Okay, 1 hour 18. We're going to have something to show at the end of this. Just something. Nothing special, but something. So let's get some more rocks scattered along the shoreline, as it were. That looks kind of funky, doesn't it? It's not great. We can go for like a stylized look for this one, I think. It's heading that way anyway, so you might as well do what makes sense in the moment to save yourself time and effort and tears. Always save the tears till you get home, and then the boss can't see you cry. No, I'm joking. If you ever feel that you're at the level in work that you should start crying, you're probably in the wrong job. Okay, so let's move this. Let's just neaten up a little bit so we can see what's going on a bit better. Okay, these are separate, so keep these separate, don't line them up. And then we're going to just add a few more of these in here. So, blend you to you, get a transform for you. One, you know, all I can think about is how much I'm going to go and play Watch Dogs Legion some more. Such a good game so far. Okay, let's get this. Transform this in there, transform that in there. So that's it. Max lighting. Let's go flat with this one. Let's go flat and goofy. Okay, and we're going to mirror it as well. A little bit of, you know, a little bit of separation, a little bit of difference. It's looking pretty cool, isn't it? I quite like that actually. Let's try and maybe try and establish sides like that, sort of, you know, used to frame them. So if I move these over. It feels weird manually placing stuff in Designy. Like, you should always find a procedural answer for the questions that you've got, if that makes sense. You know, to resolve the issues you've got procedurally. That way it's more flexibility in the future and stuff, but this is working pretty well for me right now. I'm enjoying this. Once again, we're going to move, you know, let's move this sky thing way over. We don't need it right now, probably not going to need it, but we're going to need loads of space for everything else. So let's just move this here. Some people work in layers like that, and then you can put like little markers in your line like that, and you can sort of, so you can put stuff in the way and bend it around, but I don't like them. I don't know why. Something about them just bugs me. I can't remember how you get rid of them either. Okay, yeah, so let's go and move everything over here. Not the frame. Don't select the frame. Why would you select the frame? Okay. Move all this over here. And then we're going to keep doing what we do, boo. Let's keep doing what we do. So, more stones. I'm feeling good about this. More stones. When all else fails, just whack some more stones at it. That's what we're going to do. Man, these 2 days off, I feel I need it so much. Not 2 days off, like 2 days just not thinking about stuff, you know what I mean? Just, yeah. It's been nice. Okay, so let me just grab this. I'm going to be a bit cheeky here, just see if I can get this to work in a different way. Squash this down a bit. That looks pretty cool. And we've got a gap over here, so let's just add one more stone. We can add some height variation to these as well, just to give them a little bit of depth. We'll do that in a second. Get a transform node. Cheeky little transform node over there. Just so you know, the more I play Watch Dogs Legion, the more insufferable I'm going to become when it comes to cheesy Cockney accents. So I can only apologise in advance, but it's only going to get worse. So you're most welcome for that. Max lighting again. Okay, the way that's sitting. Okay, that looks better. Just sort of perched on top. Doesn't really fill that side gap that I was trying to fill, but we can add something else to that. Maybe we just move this along. Too far. Okay, put that there. And then one more of these, and we're going to be good to go. So we set that to max light, and then we're going to go find one of our stones. Let's go with the OG classic, this one. Why am I not seeing this? Wait, where's my mouse? Am I still stuck in a different mode? Oh, I don't like this. Something's gone wrong. Okay. I lost my mind. That should be moving, right? Okay, there we go. What was happening there? Okay, anyway. Sanity aside, we're good. Alright, so there you go. That's something else. So it doesn't tile because it's not going to. Let's just try and make sure that it does actually tile just on the edge. Actually, you can't do it at that point, can you? That's cool, we can do something like that. So I think that looks pretty funky. I'm quite happy with how that's looking so far. Maybe we can give it like a built-up section in the middle. Again, this is just basically, we're just basically sketching ideas out as we go along. We've got an hour 10 left, so not a whole lot of time. I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic about this now. Let's just very quickly grab the biggest one we've got, which is this one. We're going to put that in the middle. It's like a little tall section. Almost like a cliff kind of section. Right there. See how that looks? Looks pretty cool. Sometimes you've got to take a gamble. Now if we use our levels, we can reduce how high that is within this range, because remember, we're still capping this off at the end. So if we just reduce that, that then goes behind the rest of them, which is pretty cool. It's still too big though, I think. Oh, that's looking pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so our sky's behind that. Let's just make some adjustments to some of these rocks first. Put a bit more life into them. So I want to bring this fella out a bit more, which is... Let's see, which one is that? That is... I think it's this fella here, who comes in at this point. Yeah, this guy. Okay, let's give this guy some level action. Oops. Actually, we want him more prominent, which means we have to lower the other one. Yeah, otherwise you're just going to get flatness like that. So instead of doing that, let's level this one a bit further back. So if we reduce the amount of white in it, then we're staying within our boundaries. See, so that's further back now, he's further forwards. Okay. Now let's reduce how far this guy is, the far right one. Okay, put that there, get this, plug them in, and reduce how much white is in that. Yeah, so we've got some variety going on there. I actually like it better with that being close to the front, I think. I want the one next to it to be reduced backwards, this guy. So let's get him, put him there. There we are, a little bit of depth, a little bit of difference going on. I might break up this big one a little bit at some point, but I don't know. Right now I'm okay with it. I want this far left one to be further out a little bit though. I think we can just push that one further out because it's so far back already. Oh, sorry, God, didn't mean to bash my mic, scare the heck out of everybody. That was so loud. Oh, I knocked my freaking headphone cable. This stupid cable. Right, we'll leave that as it is for now. We need to move on. We've got an hour 6 left. 1 hour 6. Hopefully my audio has been okay so far, by the way. Everything's been fine. I had some crackle issues the other day. I'm hoping they're gone, but they're probably not. It's probably been crackling this whole time. Right, so let's try and get some blend between these two going on. So let's go to our water top, which we haven't touched for ages. Let's move this over here. It's really lagging out tonight. What's going on? Save. I'm really nervous it's going to crash on me. Okay, there we go. Right, so I want to soften soften this off a little bit at the top. So we're going to blur it just like we did before for the sword edge. And if I go for non-directional blur, sorry, non-uniform blur, I can make it asymmetrical. So we're only blurring the top, like that. And change the intensity. That way it's not changing the water level below. There we go, something like that would be cool. So we've got kind of like flat water, water top, splashing against the rocks. We should have a little bit of a beach or something in front of this as well, but I don't know if we can. We can try and arrange that, I guess. How would I do that? Let me think. Okay, if I make sure that this water is only within a slightly higher range, then I can make sure the sand would be in that window it makes. 0.26. So if I say that this can only start at 0.35, then I can give the sand 0.26 to 0.34 to work in. Does that make sense? I'm going to give the 0.4 actually. Okay, so 0.26 and 4. I think that was right. I tell you, it's hard work. I'm trying to keep my brain in gear for this. It's so hard. Alright, 0.25, yes. So 0.26 to 0.39. I want to quickly make a gradient node with them numbers so I don't forget them. 0.26, 0.39. Okay, that way we won't go outside of this range, which means we'll be below where the waves are, which means we'll be somewhere in this section but not interrupting the water. We should be in this band here. Theoretically, that should work. I can't see why it wouldn't work. So let's very quickly just get like a fractal sunbase, just something we can play with. That makes like a sandy kind of texture. It's already kind of right. Now we want to kind of warp perspective with it, so let's transform it and squash it. Like so. It's going to be down here anyway. I mean, it's tile, so it doesn't really matter, but put that there. Okay, now if we blend these together, I'm hoping we get it right. We have to blend it set to, let's see, if we put this here. I'll put that there, set it to max lighting. It's so hard to see because the values are so low. Okay, let me just think about this for a second. It's not max lighting, is it? We basically don't want it affecting the water whatsoever. So we could just mask it off, but I want to just quickly figure this out. Add sub will just destroy everything. Bless you, wifey. Add, subtract. Right, let's give us a little mask that we can use. Yeah, give us a little mask. So what we can do here to make this mask is we can go to the histogram select, like I was saying before. And we're going to try and go up to this range, so 0.26. What range did I say? 0.26 to 0.39, I believe it was. Yeah. So 0.26, 0.39. I don't think it's going to work. No, I don't know why that would have worked. Okay, that's fine. Just give me a second to think about this. Oh, it's too much to think about. I just want to make stuff. I know I'm so close. Ow. Friggin' knees. Okay, instead of doing that, we're going to just try and mask it out manually, which is a bit hacky, but we don't really have time to not do that right now. So let's just eyeball a mask on this. Invert those. Okay, then we're going to put a blur on this transform. That way we can soften soften the mask on it, so it's not so intense. See, so we've got like water kind of going onto the beach if we can do that. Just rotate that edge off there. Okay, it's not ideal, but it's getting better. Can we raise this lower value? It's interfering with the rocks a bit too much. Okay, we're going to be really messy with this. We're going to just try and get something down. I like the idea of where it's heading. I'm just not certain on okay, hiccups. I'm not certain on execution right now, because like I said, this is something I've never ever tried before, and it's just an interesting little experiment. I'm having fun doing it. That's the important thing. It's just such a curious way of doing things that I've not done before. You should always look for curious new things, so it keeps life interesting. Try and refine this mask a bit. And then copy this here. Just make sure the gradient's using the same mask. I'm going to go move this one up so that it covers the new position. There we go. It's pretty funky, isn't it? So we've got a bit of water, a bit of sand. Let's try and maybe change the scale of our water. It's a bit too big right now. a bit more water-like, isn't it? I think 5 works best for that. So, little beachy section, little rocky section, water, water, sky. Okay, that's all we need. So let's just start colouring stuff. But then we can get fancy, go back and add things if we want to. But if we want to finish this, have something to give in, we've got to start colouring now. Now water, let's start making things, let's do the roughness as well actually, if you can think of it. We'll leave the sky as a medium roughness because it's you can't put a roughness in the sky. It doesn't work that way. The rocks we're going to make a bit rougher, and then the water we're going to make obviously wet. And the beach we're going to have a blend between the two. So let's just see what we can do with this. Yes, coffee ghost wifey? Hang on a sec, folks. Okay, I think we're back. Hopefully we're back and we're not crackly. I just didn't flow of it then. It's pretty typical. Let me go check my audio on my stream. So sorry about this, folks. I'll just be a second. This is a bit awkward, but it's how it is sometimes. I need to get a new USB cable for this mic, and I need to get a new cable for my headphones that connect to the mic. And that's just great. So let me just check my channel a second.
Sounds fine.
It sounds fine. Alright, thank you. Right, the lovely wife says it sounds fine. So we're going to stick with the lovely wife's what she said. I believe her. If I didn't, I wouldn't have married her. Okay, so where were we? Yes, we're talking about roughness. Let's get rough with this. Let's that sounded wrong. Let's change this so that the actually we can probably use the grayscale levels here. Inverted. No, let's not. Let's not be lazy. Looks pretty cool like that though, doesn't it? You can see some depth to it. Okay, so let's get the water. We want the water to be just basically white roughness, so it's shiny, because water's shiny. Sorry, black roughness. So let's get a mask going. Blend. There we go. That can be for the water. Let's get the water from here. And let's put that there. Let's get the rocks roughness. And plug that. Let's plug the other roughness in here for now. Okay, so now we got shiny water. That's what we want. And then we're going to get shiny top water as well. So the top water's here. Let's add that to it. So basically this mask. Now the problem with this, actually we need to figure this part out. We've got the sand as well. What? Sorry, hang on a sec. I'm back. Never a dull moment. The genius cat just jumped into Charlie's bath. And he's never done that before. And I don't think he liked it much, I'm not going to lie. He doesn't seem very happy right now. So I just have to try and dry him off. Oh, what a muppet. Okay, so where were we? We were talking about roughness. So yeah, we want to get these lighter parts, the water parts, we want to get them to be shiny. And then fade off into the sand. So okay, so let's grab what we've got here. Basically this result. So if we grab, come on, if we grab that, plug it in here, plug that in there. Okay, then that's what we're going to use for the roughness mask for the sand on top of the water. That should help. Let me just quickly adjust this. So yeah, this is the mask. God, right, okay. I'm all flustered now thinking about the poor little kitten. Poor little kitty cat. The Egypt that he is. Right, so we want the water to be black on this as well. Something like that should work pretty nicely. Okay, so yeah, you can see we've got the water on the top and it goes into the slightly damp sand. That works pretty well. I'm quite happy with that. So we'll stick with that, to that part of it. Now let's get the rocks isolated. Let's save this as well. Don't forget to save. Oh, poor kitty. God, what a soft sod. He was so wet. Oh well, at least he doesn't have to like lick himself for a bath. He's just had an actual bath. Can't taste nice when you gotta lick yourself for your bath. Who wants to do that? Okay, let's get this here. Let's go here, and then we're gonna get the rock roughness. We're just gonna give it a uniform value right now of 0.63. Why not? It's not a specific number for a reason. I just like it to be that way. So the rocks are these parts, but we're going to subtract the mask from this. So if we grab this, actually we can just pretty much grab what we just used for the front part, this bit, and then subtract the rocks from that. That should work, right? Rocks, there you are. Okay, put you there. No, put you there. Gosh dang it. Alright, try that one again. Get the rocks. Put them there. We won't end up with a soggy couch. We're probably going to. Or I'm going to end up with a soggy computer chair. One of the two. There's not a whole lot I can do about it, I know. Right, okay, so there we go. So that's going to be the roughness for our rocks mask. So we can use that. We can histogram scan this to give us an actual value we can use as a mask. And that'll be for this. So there we go. Roughness variation. So boom, There you go. The rocks are now rougher. You can't see it very well there, but we'll see that in a minute. And then the sky itself, like I said, the sky is just going to be the sky. I don't know what roughness to put the sky as. I don't think it's going to have much, but that's back here. So let's set that to fairly rough. It's in the distance, so it shouldn't have any kind of light effect in it much, if that makes any kind of sense. But anyway, yeah, I'm liking how that's looking so far. So let's just go and work on the albedo. 44 minutes, folks. 44 minutes. I think we can do something with this. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be extremely far from it. But let's see how we get on. So, first things first. Again, just like with the roughness, we're going to block in the colours. And we can probably use the same setup to do that, hopefully. Or at least similar. So that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Now, normally I would have used a histogram scan like this to close off that mask, but I wanted that variance in it to go from wet to not so wet on the sand. So that works pretty well there, I think. Ow! I just kicked my chair with my heel. Oh! Okay. Oh, I've got messages. I'll answer those messages later, because I'm busy for the next 40 minutes. Sorry, Phil. Right, so colours, colours, colours. What are we going to do? Okay, for the inside water, we're going to try a nice uniform colour of blue. That's for the underwater. For the upper water, we're going to do, it's more of an aquamarine teal situation. So let's go for that. Get a blend going here. Right, so our water's going to be there. So we want to use this, where is it? This mask for that. Okay. So we're getting somewhere. Right, now blend. Put this here, and then next we're going to add the... Well, we're going to cut off the teal part. I think I can probably use another blend actually here. Get rid of that. We can just use the alpha. That'll be easier for us, I think. So if I grab this, yeah, but this time I am going to actually, you know what? Sorry guys, I'm all over the place here. I'm going to feed this into a gradient map. I'm going to give it the color that I want here as the white part. I'm going to give it a slightly darker variant for the black part, so it kind of fades along it, because it gets darker the closer it is to the beach. And then I'm going to give it a I'm going to plug it in there. Use the grayscale mask for it. That should give me the result I want. No, wait, histogram scan the mask. I am waffling tonight. Okay, there we go. That's the kind of look I want. So I'll plug that in there. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. So let's plug this in, see how it's looking. Okay, we're getting somewhere. It's far from perfect, but we're getting somewhere. Oh, we also want the beach, don't we? So I can use this gradient to control where the beach is. So we've got the water here and this beach up this end. So let's move this down here. This is where the sort of upper water stops. Change the color here for the beach. So let's make it beach colored, shall we? Pick beach color. That's the name of it. I didn't make it. Copy, paste. Okay, so then we can change here. See this gradient? We can try and match it up to see where that is. It's quite a way out, really. And then just spread it out a little bit so that it looks like the water's kind of encroaching on the beach a bit. I always do that. I always add extra nodes I don't need. Okay, there we go. Let's move them over a bit because it's too far now. There we go. Something like that works, I think. And then let's try and bring this blue down a little bit. It's a little too high. So to fix that, we can go to our mask here. It's still set to blur. We want to kind of sharply histogram that if we can. Actually, we can leverage that to use here and do the same thing we just did. So if we get our gradient map, we can set the white color to be the blue that we've got for the waterfront. The black would be the top part, and then we can just give it a little white rim, like the little foam rim when you drop the camera into the water. That should be pretty cool. So let me see, blue, that blue, yes. This will be that blue also, but lighter. Desaturated. Okay, and that way what's affecting from the gradient should theoretically just top the end off with a lighter piece, which it does. Nice. As Baldric once said, I love it when a plan comes together. No, that wasn't Baldric, was it? That was the A-team. Baldric was, I have a cunning plane. Which I do have a cunning plan. Will it work? Who knows? I'm going to give this the same colour as this piece. That way I can sort of widen how much of it is being used for that end. For that light bar at the top. I know what I mean. And this green, it looks cool, but it's too different to the underwater part. Now, do I change the blue to more green, or do I change the green to more blue? I do like that colour green, but I also like how blue the water is. And in the reference photo, to be fair, they are that drastically different. So I might just leave it for now. But I know I want this light blue to be much lighter, I think. So yeah, it's quite fun doing this so far. I'm enjoying this. So we've added base colours for the water and the sand. We're going to add some base colours for the rock and the sky in a second. We've got 37 minutes left. Oh, okay, that's gone pretty quick. Right, let's lighten these colours. Grab those two. Let's give them a bit of more value. Yeah, it's given us a bit more of that edge that I wanted. Let's desaturate it a bit. Head more towards white than blue. Okay, cool. And then let's try and move them along the gradient a bit more. Okay, that's a bit better. Now it looks more like the reference. Okay, that looks better. Now the colour difference isn't so extreme because it's got that white bar in the middle. Okay, sweet. Right, let's get our stones sorted. I'm running out of time now, folks. I don't want to run out of time. I'm not going to lie. Earlier on, I thought we had no chance of getting this done in time. But now, it's feeling feasible. I don't know if that's as strong a feeling as most people would like, but it's feeling feasible. So let's just see how we get on with it. Let's just see how we get on. So let's very quickly, just cheap and easy, going to eyedrop a rock here. Try and get that kind of rock colour that we want. We're not going to be super careful about this. Right, okay, so plug that in there. Again, we're just blocking out and then we'll readjust as we go along. So for now, let's quickly get this. Let's get the mask that we're going to use to control that, which we already made down here. Put it there. Okay, blocked out rocks. See how quick that was? Blocked out colour. We can add information to that in a minute, but for now, they're there. So, sky. Let's get a blocked out sky in. Now the sky itself, we're going to do blue. We're going to try and get some clouds in there. Luckily, we have a clouds node. Now, I've never, ever used a clouds node to make clouds. Does it work for clouds? I've never tried it. You'd think, given the name, that it would. But, knowing my luck, it will not. So let's just see how it goes. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to leave that over there because I'm going to make a new blend node that we're going to use to blend the sky and the clouds together. Just as two flat colours for now. But then, like I said, we'll make adjustments. So let me quickly grab the sky. I'm at that phase now where I'm actually getting a bit out of breath just through thinking so much. You know, I don't know if any of you guys get this, but I must just be such a fat guy that it happens to me. But sometimes I get so heavy in thought that my brain starts overtaking the breathing part, and I'm like, don't forget to breathe. So remind me to breathe if you can, folks. I do like breathing. I just don't do it enough. Alright, so there's a sky with some clouds. Let's use a histogram scan to rein some of this in. We can create a mask. Let me see. That's not what I wanted to do. Not at all. I want to get rid of some of the clouds, not all of them. So to do that, I can get another blend node. I can get another clouds. No, actually, I'm going to use a Perlin noise, I think. If I use a Perlin noise, plug that in there. If I set this to subtract, it'll take away anything that's white. So if I get this and lower the scale down, then I can reduce the how many clouds are there. There we go. Look at that. That actually looks pretty good. I like that. I like that quite a bit. And then if I wanted to, I could go and use a histogram scan or levels. Adjust it some more. Yeah, I quite like that. That's funky as heck. Alright, so let's put that there. Put it here. And that should be the background, which I should have done at the beginning. That's okay. We can use a combined mask of everything else. Actually, we can be really lazy. You want to watch this? We want to see a magic trick. Okay, we use this for the rocks, right? So let's use that mask here as well. Okay, let's quickly put a... Wait, what did I just do? Okay, yeah, I want to use that as a mask there. So let's be quick and lazy, right? I want to invert that for starters. Okay, so we've got the sky where we want it, but I want this to stop here. So let's use this and go to the bottom. I'm just going to cut off where that goes to there. Wait. Yeah, sorry. My brain just went, what is happening? Okay, there we go. Invert that, put that there. That'll give us that result, which is what we want, pretty much. Except we've still got a bit of a gap there. Why have we got a gap there? Was that there earlier? No, it was not. Okay, anyway, we're going to just go... Oh, wait. I'm an idiot because I did that. Yeah, so we're going to use the bottom node on this. I'm just going to cheat it a little bit. Put it down to there. There we go. Now we've got everything where we want it. And then if we go boom... Look at that. We're getting somewhere, folks. We are getting somewhere. We are getting ourselves a biome. I can't believe this is actually working. It's an experiment, but it's a working experiment. I'm quite happy with it so far. So we want to skew this because this looks a bit weird. The sky looking so flat right now. So let's very quickly, like half an hour left. That's no time at all. Let's very quickly go and transform the clouds so that they look a little bit skewed. Because at the moment, there's zero perspective on them. It's just like you're looking at them straight up, like you're lying on your back in the grass, looking for things in the clouds. We don't want that. We want a bit of perspective. So we want to skew it a bit. Now we don't have perspective tools in Substance Designer. But we do have transform tool. We can just squash it for now. It's not as effective, but it'll do. We can do a squash. We can do a bit of a skew. It's nothing fancy, but it does the job. It's kind of. Something like that should work, theoretically. Put that there. It just looks a little less flat now. Let's do the same thing to the mask as well, just so that it's not also flat. Yeah, this should hopefully look a little bit more in the sky now as opposed to just directly above you. Alright, so now we've done that. Let's try and let's try and very quickly get something under the water. Am I going to regret saying this? This has been the hardest part, you see. I don't know how we're going to do this, but let's just try and do this. I'm enjoying this so far. This is fun. I'm not going to lie, I'm enjoying it. Save. Let's add something to the rocks first. The rocks have got zero definition going on. They're just a flat colour. So, ow. Let's, okay, sky's there. Let's get a curvature node going. We just want the curvature from the rocks. So let's go grab the rocks. Let's get a new normal node. Let's get this. Plug that in there, and then just plug the rocks into this one. The rocks are here. So this is already masked out, so we don't need to worry about interfering with anything else, because it's only the rocks that are being affected by this particular blend, so we should be fine. So if we get our uniform color here, which we've got already, as you can see, duplicate that, make this lighter just a bit. Blend this together, put the lighter one in there, put that in there. Then we get our curvature node, set that as the mask after we feed it through a histogram scan, of course, because who doesn't love a histogram scan? This guy does, I know that much. People who don't even use Substance Designer will know the name histogram scan after watching so many of these streams. Because it's what... It is the shit, as they say in the industry. Right, put that there. They don't, by the way. I don't know why I always say that. Okay, there we go. And then put that there, and then we should have a little bit of... just a little bit of edge definition on the rocks. See, it's nice. It's nice, isn't it? So we can break that up if we want to with another mask, which we're going to do in a minute. But for now, I want to go and add some different color variation to the rocks. We were going to do this before by using the height information and blending it on top, which I'm still going to do. So just grab these, move them over. Move all this downwards, so we've got space to work over here, and then we can move this stuff over, can't we? So let's try and... we've got a little bit of time to get organised, right? I wouldn't be hugely annoyed if we had to submit this now. So 28 minutes left. Let's try and just at least neaten up a little bit. Okay, so what's going on here? Why is an FX map? When did I make an FX map? Okay, I'm glad I saw that because I didn't make that. I must have pressed it by accident at some point, and that would have proper goosed stuff up if I'd have used it. Okay, that's that there. So this is the water and the green part on the beach. So we've got that part. Oh, I know what we can do with this, the clouds as well to make it look a bit better. Let's mask off the part with the gradients. So this blend here, got to feed it to another blend. Going to grab a gradient linear 1. I'm going to plug that in and subtract from that. Sorry, multiply by that. And then we'll probably actually have to transform this a little bit as well, just to pinch it up. So what this will do, this will give less of an effect of the clouds at the bottom and more at the top. That way it's a bit more real, because if you think about it, when you look at a horizon, the clouds don't look so extreme because they're so much further away, they're darker. So we can try and emulate that with this mask. So, boom, there we go. Oh, that's definitely added a lot to it, I think. See, that looks a lot better now. In my opinion, I think it looks a bit better now. We can always control the strength of that with this multiply slider. Yeah, see, like here, it just looks like the clouds are on the floor, whereas here, it looks like there's some height, some distance to the clouds. Okay, nice. I like that quite a bit. Alright, so anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Back to the rocks. Yeah, we could try and do something under the water, but for now I'm not that bothered about that. We'll just leave that for now. We can look at that in a minute. So let's get some rock variation going on. That was it, yeah. I was going to get the height information from our rock heights. So let's put this here. I'm going to get an HSL node. Actually, no I'm not. Am I? Yeah. I'll plug HSL node in, just change the darkness, slightly less saturated. Plug that in there. And then I'm going to use the height information as the mask for this. Looks like a little spaceship trying to camouflage itself. Yeah, it does actually. I like that. Little UFO hemisphere thing. Little biome. I like that. That's a good idea. Little UFOs and then it flies away. Okay, the rock's height is here. So if we use this, there's some slight variation in the height for the rocks themselves, so we can use that as a mask. It's very subtle. You can just see a little bit of variation. What's up, buddy? Cat's not happy. So it's extremely subtle. If I bump this right down, you can see the rocks have got a little bit of variance in them. So let's use a histogram scan on this this mask here. Just to bump it up a little bit. I could use levels, but I like histogram scan. Okay, there you go. There's a little bit of variance to it now. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And that's good enough. Now I'm going to add some sort of texture to this, I think. I know we're going for the kind of like the stylized look. Nothing too fancy. But yeah, let's try this. What am I looking for here? Okay, we want to have some shadows as well. Just fake some shadow on this. Actually, how's the ambient occlusion looking here? Right, one thing we definitely don't want is we don't want shadows casting on the sky. I think that looks weird because the sky is not directly behind it, and that would give the illusion that it is, and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask out the results of my ambient occlusion. Put that there. I'm going to use a uniform colour of white. And then I'm going to tell it that basically where the sky is and everything else, get rid of the shadow. So, let's do this. I'll do what I did before here, where I cropped it upwards. Was it there? No, it was somewhere else. Here. Yeah, plug that in. And then crop it. There we go. So now the only things to have ambient occlusion. So this now should look a bit better because it should look further forward because there's no shadow casting on the sky. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So now let's try and add some more depth to these rocks. They're looking pretty flat. So let's go get let's get an ambient occlusion node again. The same thing, but we're just going to feed in the rocks into it, and we're going to bump it up a little bit. This is very cheaty stuff. Like I've said in the past, don't do this if you're doing actual textures. But we're just having fun experiments. We can do this. This is fine for here. So if we get this, going to bump it up to... One's too strong, but... Okay, now if we get this... He's in the bathroom again. Yeah, I hope it's safe as well. I don't want him jumping in the bath again. Poor lad. He's a soft sod, isn't he? Okay, let's just multiply this on top. Let's get lazy. I don't normally like multiplying stuff on top. It feels a bit muddy, a bit messy, but we don't have a whole lot of time left, and we just want to get this done. Okay, look at that. The difference that made. So we're getting a little stylized rock action going on. I like that quite a bit now. Nice. Now let's get some shadows casting on the beach from the rocks, okay? I think that's a logical next step. We're trying to add depth to this. Depth and a sense of scale. Because at the moment, because I know what it is, I can see what it is. But if you were just looking at this straight away, I don't think you'd know exactly what it was or what we were aiming for. That picture looks cool on the right though. He's having his own bath. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad. Nice separate bath situation. Okay, so we want to cast shadows. That was it. Blends. 20 minutes, folks. Oh, man, I need to relax after this. I can feel the adrenaline is flying through my chest. It's so stupid how excited, like, not excited, but how much, like, nervous energy a clock builds up when you're doing stuff like this, especially when you've got no idea where you're going with it. It's a good excited energy as opposed to like the other kind of energy where you're like, oh Jesus Christ, I've got no idea what they're expecting of me. Whereas this way, it's like, this is fun. Let's see where it goes. So I like that. It's a better kind of energy to have. Right, we want to get this mask. Feed that into this. Cast a shadow going down so the light starts there. Shadow goes down. Let's just see if something like this works. This is really, really lazy. And if it works, great. We can be lazy, but it's interesting that multiply just kills the top as well. Oh, the top, it's because the top's got no alpha. Okay. Okay, so we just want to give it a little bit of shadow. And obviously lower the strength as well. Maybe something like that. It feels a bit, that feels a bit muddy, a bit mucky. What's going on there? I think we've messed up a bit at the edge as well. Okay, where's that edge? Is that in the height? Let's just quickly go and see if we can find this and fix it. Okay, I think it's here. Yeah, it was here when we introduced this, so it's this mask. Oh, it's because we used non-uniform blur before. It's just messied it up a little bit, that's okay. If we just use a little bit of blur after that, that'll fix that right up. Blur is my friend. Such a good little tool. Okay, just a smidge. Actually, that had the opposite effect. That buggered the whole job up. Okay, never mind that. What's causing this now? Oh, is it because this gradient maybe isn't aligned? Yeah, it's the top of the gradient here. This needs to be taller. There's always something right at the end, isn't there? It's always the pig in way. Let's just quickly see if this will fix it. No. Okay, that's my bad. We should have spotted that earlier, but we haven't got time to fix it properly now. But that's okay. You can't really tell anyway. I'm just being picky. But yeah, so that's looking a bit better. We want the stones to cast on each other, which is what the ambient occlusion's doing, I guess. It's just maybe we can make some of them stronger than others. That's a good idea. Let's see if we can do that. Because we've got 16 minutes left. We can't really experiment with much else right now. Well, let's give the sky a gradient rather than just being solid blue like that. Because it'd be lighter at the bottom because it's further away. Gradient. Okay, so let's make where am I? Okay, to get this, I'm gonna pick the bottom color, which is gonna be sort of this whitey blue. The top color, which is gonna be this more intense blue. There we go, it kind of gives the illusion of atmosphere. Yeah, it's just a little bit of difference, but that really adds a load to it, I think. It's super subtle. But you got to think about those kind of things, just to add a little bit of realism. And I know we're not going for realism here, but you get the idea. It's nice to just try. And I kind of want to add more detail to these rocks, but I also kind of like just how simple they are. Sand we've already got stuff going on for. The top water we've got stuff going on for. What else can we do with this? I kind of want it to sit better on the shape. Maybe colour the shadow slightly. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because I just multiplied it. It's just kind of muddy and dirty on top of it. Actually, that's a good point. Rather than using that and set it to multiply. Let's delete that second. Normally, I'd use an HSL node. I'd get the results of this. And I'd darken it a little bit. Maybe desaturate it slightly. And then I'd use the mask to control where that was. Oh, come on, be nice to me. Invert. There we go. No, invert grayscale, please. After this, is try and catch up with someone else's platinum trophies. Excuse me? You guys have a platinum trophy on the PS5 before me. How very dare you, lady. Bravo, I'm proud of you. Good job. What is going on with this? What is it? Orange? Okay, I want to sharpen this up a little bit. 18 total platinum trophies, that's insane. I think I've got like 4, is it? Maybe 5? Not many is the answer. Okay, so we've got that. What else can we do? Honestly, I don't want to keep like faffing with it if it's going to mess it up. Let's try and add some maybe moss to the top of the rocks or something. Just something like that. So to do that, we can use the normals. We can just use the green channel on the normal. That'll give us just the top parts. And then that should give us a mask to work with, hopefully. I'm going to duplicate this normal because I want to be able to give it the rocks its own one. And then I want to be able to play with the strength of it a little bit just to be cheeky. Just a cheeky little chappy. Okay, so this is just the normal information for that, and then if we go to split RGBA, I think it's called, RGBA split, there we go, plug that in there, and that'll then separate it into the red, green and blue channels. And the way a normal map works is that we have red, which goes from left to right, we have green, which goes from top to bottom, and then we have blue, which is just a flat front-on look. So if we grab the green, we can just isolate the top information, and that's us sorted. So in this case, because it's DirectX, the top information would be the black part. So let's get a blend here. Give this, let's go with a uniform colour. Let's make it like a greeny, browny, moss kind of colour. Let's see what they used here. This kind of colour. So let's get that, that's fine. Let's get 2 of them because we're feeling fancy. Blend them together with a black and white noise. That'll give kind of a moss-like look. See something along them lines. Let's squash that like we did before, just to kind of force perspective a little bit. Okay, there's that. And then we can use that to then be controlled by this green channel, and then we can also cut out some of the green channel. 10 minutes, folks, this is it, the final stretch. Histogram scan. Green. Okay, I'm actually going to use OpenGL normals because that flips the green channel. It just saves us using the transform. So now we have dirt on top of our rocks. How cool is that? Such a quick and dirty thing to do. Now I'm going to cut some of this out because I don't want to use it all. And also this is all the rocks. I need to cut the beach out of this original thing here. So we did that earlier on with this part. So I'm going to grab this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we've got this. So I'm going to use I'm going to subtract some of this information out I'm really glad of how that turned out. Subtract some of this out with a black and white noise 3, I believe. BNW 3. So that's a subtract. And then I can use the levels to control how strong that is. Or histogram scan if I want to. See, that just breaks it up a bit more, so let's get the levels. If I just really pinch that, it'll make it a lot more bitty and broken up. See the effect we're getting there? It's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, I really like that. Something like that should do well. Now, we'll probably reduce the strength of this mask. I don't think we need that much stuff going on. Let's try and do it this way. Okay, I think that looks alright. We're getting there. Let's get a bit more colour variance going on here. This is too constant, I think. Actually, no, it looks okay. Let's just add another one on top of that. Just, we're feeling fancy, folks. We're feeling fancy. 10 minutes left, you know. What else can you do? I mean, I could add like a fish in the water, but I don't think we can do that. Well, we definitely can't. I don't have time. But yeah, I wanted to try and get like coral underneath it or starfish or something, but we didn't have time for that kind of thing. That would be cool in the future, maybe. I might take it past that point at some point later. But right now, it's a no-go. So let's just very quickly go and add a bit more noise to this. So get an HSL. I'm going to set this a bit darker, desaturate it. That's way too desaturated, but we'll see how that looks in a minute. Going to grab not a fractal sunbase. I'm actually going to get another black and white spots. I'm going to duplicate these, but I'm going to change the random seed on this, and I'm going to increase the scale of it as well, so it's way smaller. See, I don't like how dark that is, so let's just lighten this up, or reduce the saturation. That's a bit better. See, it's just some extra variance to it. We've got 6 minutes. Let's try and add that kind of variance to the stone itself as well. I know we're going for like a stylized kind of look, but we still want some kind of variation going on. The stone is here, I believe. Yeah, let's try and get this. What was this part? This was for the curvature stuff, wasn't it? Oh, okay. I'm running out of steam fast. Alright, let's do this. Grab this stuff, move it over. Okay, so blend here. I'm going to do the same thing I did here. I'm also going to change the colours. They're drastically different, aren't they? Okay, that's a bit better. Right, 5 minutes. 5 minutes left, folks. Let's try and use the red channel for this one. Let's just see how this looks. It probably won't look good. See, it adds a lot of depth to it, but we don't really want that too much. Although I quite like that now. That really, weirdly, that helped us quite a bit to make it pop. So yeah, let's stick with that. Okay, I think we're done. I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to keep playing. I'm going to break it. I'd like to adjust the size of the sphere. But we're currently at a scale of 20 for our depth on it. I'm probably going to lose some frames on the stream now because it does that when I go full screen on this, but let's just change the scale to 30. 10. So it was like that flat. We're at 20. We've got ourselves a cheeky little biome. To be fair, this should have like a tropical jungle or something behind it. We didn't have time for trees. But this will do for now, I think. I'm quite happy with that. It's not perfect. It's got this weird spike at the top, which I can't fix. That's to do with the scale in this. But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So, I think that's it for today, folks. So that means we can go and get our little ticky poo. So let's go do that. There we go. So this is our ticks, as you can see. We're down to day 20 already. That's 2/3 of the way through this gargantuan challenge that has been November. I've been really enjoying most of it. There's been times I haven't enjoyed it so much, but that's part of the learning process. It can't all be enjoyment, otherwise you won't learn quite as much. So let's get this tick going. Hashafa boom. There we go. Biome is ticked. Day 20. Finito. Done. Finite incantatem. Now it's time for me to finish the stream and go play a game for a bit, I think. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody, folks. I think I'm streaming tomorrow. I should be. But keep an eye on Twitter. I'll let you know either way. But thanks a lot for watching, folks. I'll see you all next time for day 21. Architecture. Okay. Architecture is interesting. We can try some stuff out for that. Alright, so see you all next stream, guys. Bye-bye now.